Good morning from the Bayer Crop Science Water Utilization Learning Center near Gothenburg, Nebraska. My name is Brian Olson. I'm here with Mark Ryman on a beautiful spring day here on May 16th. We've been waiting for the sun to pop out, and boy, planting conditions couldn't be better today. It's finally feels like it's time to get things in the ground, and so Mark and I are out here looking at this corn that we were evaluating last week. And Mark, considerably different conditions this week.
Yeah, I think we're about 20-25 degrees warmer this morning. I'm not feeling like I want to head back inside. Yeah, the weather's really improved. We are starting to see things, corn planted kind of in that April 25th to May 1st time frame start to emerge, and the stands look really good. The one thing that we're looking at as far as we evaluate them is finding any of those areas where you find gaps or think you need to investigate. So
just to remind the folks, this is the April 10th planting that we had, and so it's a little bit farther along, and we got two corn products here where one has good emergence in cold weather and one had poor emergence, and definitely see a big difference. So what do we got? What do we see here?
Yeah, so as you're going out there and looking for those areas with bad stands, you go out, you evaluate. I mean, this is easy to see. It's a poor stand, but how poor is it? So I actually took our measuring wheel. These are 30-inch rows, so we went about 17 feet 5 inches, and counted off the plants per acre. So in this one here, we had a stand, I think, of 9,000 and 13,000, so averaging about 11,000 plants per acre. And then in the other row, planted the same time, but a hybrid or a product that handles the conditions better. We're looking at about 33,000 on average in each of those rows. And then the next thing you really want to evaluate is, and this is far enough along, you can tell it's kind of probably a lost cause, but you can see how many of those plants are still going to make it, do you think? So as you get out there and investigate, if it's earlier, that's something you'll want to know to help you, make a decision about what your final stand's going to be. And so we actually, dug up a few plants just to see kind of what we're looking at. And these ones are leafing out underground. Basically, they're not going to make it through the surface.
And so over time that plant will die and obviously not contribute to the stand. So that it's already falling apart there.
Yeah, so it won't contribute for you. So in your stand, I mean, you can take it out. We're probably setting at that, 10, 11,000 type of stand in these rows here. So definitely a candidate to start thinking about, do I need to replant this field? What actions do I need to take? And then, work with the TA to talk about, potential, what could you replant, or depending on herbicides and things like that, what are your options as far as crops if you're thinking, well, maybe I don't want to come back with corn as it gets later into the spring.
So what happens if we don't have such a dramatic loss in stand? Let's say we're sitting about 8,000 to 10,000 less, and again, we're shooting for about 34 to 35 over here on the left side. We got 33, so that's a pretty good stand. Over here, if we were looking at a stand that was 10,000 or 8 to 10,000 less, what kind of yield loss would we or yield potential would we expect?
So I think your yield potential is still, I think, very high. We did data research last year. We looked at 36,000 versus 28,000, kind of that 8,000, stand difference. And we typically found that having 8,000 fewer plants, depending on the product, was between 10 and 20 bushels per acre. So that would kind of be your loss versus your ideal stand, but our data came from very high yielding conditions last year. So in, kind of lower yield environments, it may not be even as extreme as the 10 to 20 bushels per acre in some circumstances.
So again, if you're ending up with 8 to 10,000 less than you'd like to have, probably should keep that stand and let that grow out, because again, it was put in at the right time. You're giving that corn the most chance to grow and yield versus going through there and replanting. However, if your stand looks something like this would be a definite candidate for replanting. So visit with your local sales team member and see if you can't find a workable solution. So with that, we'll talk to you later from the Learning Center, and hope you have a safe and productive planting season. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.